Peace and blessings, y'all. Peace and blessings. Hi. And welcome to Redefining Authenticity. It is your girl, Kim Martin Raymond, your, what am I? Your toolbox essential. That's who I am. I know who I am. And founder of Redefining You LLC, where I help my clients to realign themselves, mind, body, and spirit.
Peace, love, and blessings to you all. I am Sheronda Barksdale, your vision specialist, the vision specialist, should have been double Lord. And Authentically Your Expressions LLC, where we are helping our clients define and create and love their most authentic selves and their most authentic lives. What's up, Carmen San Diego?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Carmen San Diego has a tree behind her. So that means I'm back in Atlanta. I'm home. Oh, okay. All I'm saying is I was in the Chi-Town last week. And when I say it was 4 degrees, it was disrespectful. Chicago, you were disrespectful. Okay. That little wind said, forget about your little coat. I would say the F word, but it was like, F your coat. Okay. It was like, oh no, freezing. Okay. So I'm glad to be back in slightly warmer weather here and looking forward to the holidays next week, y'all.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Christmas is about to hit us inside the head.
This year's about to be over, yo.
This whole year is about to be over and I'm not ready, but I will be spending the holidays in New York City with my family, with my people, going back to my hometown, Queens, New York. I'm a Queens. What's up? Holla back if you're from New York.
Hi, baby.
Good evening. But anyway, let's get the ball rolling on our topic for tonight. Are you going to be spending the holidays? What are you doing for the holidays, friend? I didn't ask you what you
Nothing. No, I'm just kidding. I'll be in Atlanta, but my mom's coming, so we're gonna go up to my sisters and we're gonna eat good and fellowship and have a good time.
I love it. See, it's all about the fellowship. I try to tell people, just like I told people on Thanksgiving, focus on the fellowship and the friends and not the food, okay? Don't ruin your whole holiday season because the food ain't come out right. If you want to come out right, bring it.
Oh, if it ain't come out right, I thought you said we were supposed to eat.
You're supposed to be trying to get on a good foot anyway. But if you don't like the food, bring your own food. Stop complaining about people's food. I'll be doing too much. Anyway, I digress.
Tonight, nasty behind stuffing and dressing and ish.
Okay. Just bring your own food, especially if you're vegan and gluten free and all that. Bring your own stuff. Anyway, I digress. We're getting ready for these holidays, okay? But tonight we are going to be starting another series. This is part 1 of a 2-part series called Signs We Aren't Living Our Authentic Life. And I love the little saying here because it says, if you're not living your truth, you're living a lie.
See?
And that's a little, for some people, I'm like, dang, that's a little harsh.
Like, wow.
It needs to be. Because we need to understand if we're not living our truth, if we're not living to be the best version of ourselves, then we're living a lie.
Straight up.
Okay. What does it say about living a lie, Sheronda?
When you live a lie, you refuse to see the truth. You choose to believe in a false reality that's more convenient for you. And more people do this than not. More people do this than not. Again, name my business is Authentically Your Expressions for a reason. Yes. And my whole premise behind my work is to help people connect with what's true. When you're trying to reach goals, when you're trying to attain that vision you've created for your life, if you don't know who you are, you're going to jack it up every single time because you're trying to create a false sense of who you actually are versus living who you are. If you know you got bad time management skills, you need to face that. You got to be real with yourself. Like, I don't manage my time quite well. I like to spend about 5 hours on my phone and 1 hour doing this type of, doing my journal. I do 15 minutes of journaling, 5 hours of IG. You know, whatever it is, you don't have to beat yourself up for it, though. You have to honor the truth in that so that you can say, okay, I know I could do 15 minutes of journaling. This week I'm gonna do 15 minutes. Next week I'm gonna go for 30. I'm gonna do 4.5 on IG. And I'm gonna do 30 of my journal. You see what I'm saying? So that you can be true, you could tell yourself the truth about who you are, so you can
Right.
slowly begin to shift the behavior. But if you can't acknowledge that you even do stuff like that, what you're gonna say is, I don't have enough time to journal. That's what you're gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
make up a false reality when the time actually exists. And that's where people struggle the most. That's where you're not living your most authentic self. Some of the people are like, I can't find a good man or a good woman. Yes, the hell you have. They've
Mm-hmm.
come. They've been around. However, you a hag.
Mm-hmm.
Male or female, you're sickening, you're aggravating, you have a bad attitude, you don't know how to treat people, you don't know how to talk to people, and the good people run as they should. So if you can't face the fact that your mouth is nasty, if you can't face the fact that you have a bad attitude, if you can't face the fact that you want to argue with people all the time, if you can't face the fact that you don't know when to shut the fuck up, it's not that you can't find somebody that's good, it's that you're not good. We attract who we are.
Mm. Mm.
I went in a
That
little bit.
tasted that tasted a little grainy. That went down a little. That went down a little hard. You want to drink some water behind that. But I mean, but the truth will set you free. Okay. What happens is, I think sometimes we also get so caught up in letting other people define who we are, or let other people determine how we're to live our lives, that we begin to agree with that. I'm going
Yeah.
to always go back to that book, The Four Agreements Show. I'm always going to go back to that, because when we agree
Mm-hmm.
to believe what someone else says about us, and then we begin to make that our truth, it's never been ours.
Come on.
We forfeited our own truth just so that it's more convenient and more palatable for others
Come on.
than for ourselves. So we're doing our thing, and then somebody else comes along and says, "Yeah, that doesn't taste right to us. You need to do this, and you need to do that." And we go, "Okay." And then we wind up embracing it like it was our own, and it never was
It
ours.
was never.
We have forfeited who we are because of the roles that we play.
Absolutely.
There were things that we wanted to do. That's why my business is called Redefining You, finding yourself again. Because what happens is, we get so caught up in the roles that we play that we forget that we were Kim first, or that we were Sheronda first, or that we were Veronica first, or that we were G first. We forget who we were first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then we take that on, and that becomes our truth. And again, we're living a lie. And then we can't figure out why we can't find joy, why we can't find peace, why we can't find happiness, because we've forfeited. We forfeited it just to give it to somebody else, and have somebody else define who, and they're going along skipping, living their best life or living their happy life, and we're sitting here trying to please.
Go.
Just saying.
Just go. That's been a big that, and I think that's why Spirit brought me to Authentically Your Expressions, because it was my own battle.
Yeah.
Because I liked who I was, but people act like it needed to be fixed. It's like all I heard was fix, 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 fix.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be this. You need to be that. You need to be more demure. I don't know what. I ain't got that in my pinky toe. Demure don't live in my pinky toe. You know, I'm liable to say something real crazy anywhere I go. Anywhere. Kim went to church for me. I acted up there too. You know what I'm saying? This is I don't.
Right.
So, but I'm still lovable, and I'm still God's favorite, and I'm still God's child, and I'm still brilliant, and I'm still beautiful, and I'm still powerful, in spite of what people think I am or am not, or should be. So
Right.
you have to learn to live your truth.
That's it. Veronica said the one I heard the most growing up was, "You too much." Right. And what does that even
What does
mean?
that even mean? For who?
What does that
For
even
the
mean?
person or people who said in. Excuse me. Oh
Exactly.
Lord. F
Okay.
them folks. FTF.
Look, yes. And I was one of the people too. I was so loud as a kid. That's something that's hard to believe, because people say, "Oh, you can be soft spoken sometimes," or "Kim, we can't hear you. Speak up." Because I used to be loud, and the teacher was like, "You talk too loud," and it sat with me. And then I just felt I got real self conscious about it,
And it went the opposite direction.
and went the total opposite direction. I project when I'm a trainer. I project when I train. I project when I go out and speak. But there are some times when I don't speak as loud.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I just feel like, oh, I'm being too loud because I hear other people in the street being loud. And I'm just like, dang, they telling their whole entire life. I need to bring it down a couple of decibels. But sometimes people tell us things and they begin to resonate with it, and then we begin to put it on like a leotard. And next thing you know, we walking around wearing it, and it wasn't even ours to wear.
A leotard.
Leotard. I said leotard. I dated myself. Whatever.
But I think I think we all can receive some constructive criticism. But what you always say, Kim, the source. Look at the source. Look at where it's coming from.
Where is it coming from? Is it coming from Wikipedia, or is it something that where are you getting your information from? When people are telling you things about yourself, where is that information coming from? Is that person an authority on that? Is that person educated on that subject, or is that just their opinion?
It's just their opinion.
It's just their opinion. And we take ownership of it. And like I said, we agree with it. And then it becomes our truth. And it was never our truth to believe. It was something that somebody planted in us.
Yes.
You know? And that's where we have to go back. And that's why when COVID hit and a lot of people were sitting at home and they had to look in that mirror and take a good hard look at themselves, they didn't like what they saw.
They didn't like what they saw.
Because they didn't know who that person was, because they were too busy running out there in these streets being everything to everybody.
Or what they wanted people to believe. Anyway, Kim, go ahead.
Child, because you know, I can take it right on to 8:00. Okay. Okay. Is it my turn or your turn?
Yep, yours.
My turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know that you are not living your authentic life if you feel trapped. And Oprah Winfrey said a long time ago, every choice in life either moves you forward or it keeps you stuck. When you say you feel trapped, please understand that you have a choice. You have a choice in that. I know some people say they feel trapped. If somebody physically locks you in a basement somewhere and they've got you chained to the wall, yeah, you might be trapped in that case. But when we're talking about being trapped, you know, I just feel like, you know, I can't move. I can't do anything. You have a choice. Mm-hmm. And just like the saying says here, you have a choice to either move forward or to stay stuck. Sometimes we get that analysis paralysis. Yeah, we're overthinking too much, and so then we feel trapped. But we're being trapped by our own thoughts. Oof. We getting in our own way. Yeah. So nobody's trapping you. Just like when people say, "Oh my God, I got to stay on this job, and this job gets on my nerve." Why? Yeah. Because you make the choice every day to get up and go there. Come on. You make the choice to go there, and if it's not some place that you want to be, then what are you doing to get out of that? What education, what certifications, what interviews, what resume have you updated to be out of that position? Yep. You feel trapped in a relationship. What have you done to get out of that relationship? You're choosing to stay there. That's like the elephant that has that little stake that's in the ground. All he has to do is take one step and that stake would pop right up out of the ground. But he feels as though he's stuck there. Yes. Because something inside of his mind, something made him think that he can't move. Yes. But he can. Yep. He can. Mm-hmm. And it's not easy to get out of that feeling because some people just don't. It's more of I'm confused. It's not that I'm trapped. It's just that I'm confused and I need to figure out what tools I need to get to help me out of that situation. Period. Mm-hmm. You know, people are so used to being victims. People are so accustomed because bad stuff happens to us. So then when things hurt, and you may have been a victim of certain situations, but we forget that you're a victim in the moment something happens. You're not a perpetual one. You don't remain a victim. So things happen to us that shift the dynamics of what we understand life to even mean. It will shift the complete and utter belief system that you had for a period of time. Mm-hmm. So when it happens, then that's that moment you feel stuck. Like, I don't even know what to believe. I don't know how to shift. I don't know how to move. I don't know what to do. But then you have to remind yourself, but I'm not a victim of this circumstance. Right. I'm allowed to feel hurt, pain, grief, sadness, loneliness. I'm allowed to feel that. You're allowed to have the feelings. But do we stay in it? Nope.
Because when you stay, now you're trapped and you become a victim. So your
Right.
story that you tell and the neural pathways that you create in your brain is it hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it
Mhm.
hurts. I'm sad, I'm stuck, I can't leave, I don't know what to do, I feel trapped. I don't. All that keeps repeating, and you begin to believe it.
Right.
Then you formed a new belief system because you said it and believed it so many times
Mhm.
that you really are convinced now this is my life.
Mhm.
Again, you're allowed to have the feelings.
Right.
And then what? Who said, and then what? B, who said the song? Anyway, triple. Anyway, and then what? And then what? What do we do next in
Right.
order to make that small, baby, actionable step to slowly shift the dynamics of what we believe? I am
Mhm.
a I am a widow, but now I'm going to live my life in a way that Cal thought was going to be the most brilliant thing in the world. Jeezy, yes. Cal wants me to live. Cal would want me to be happy. He'd want me to move on. He would want me to have joy. So,
Right.
well, at first I was like, I don't want to. But over time, you allow yourself that little bit of movement.
That's it.
Just a little bit. It's a baby step. You know how babies look when they first start walking? That.
Right.
Just take a little baby step so that you
Right.
don't feel trapped because otherwise you're not being authentic. You're not being true to yourself.
Yeah. I absolutely love that, and you're absolutely right. It comes with acknowledgement, because once you acknowledge that something is happening, then you can begin to take the steps towards healing. You can't heal if you deny that something is happening. And if you're going to say it out of your mouth, okay, then it for me is how now.
Yep.
How am I going to move and navigate in this space now so that I can be where I don't want to be,
Come
so that
on.
I don't feel trapped?
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, we could go
G
on.
has formulated a phrase for us for the new year, which is a new mind, new body.
I love it.
A new mind. And he told me, and I was like, let's go. And that's
Yeah.
going to look like a bunch of different things for us, of course. But you've got to create a new mind. You've got to create a new mind so that you can live your most authentic life. Let's go.
Absolutely. All right, let's go.
All right. So, one of the signs that you are not living your most authentic life is you're feeling unheard, unseen, or undervalued. Un. This is if you. It says if you feel unseen and unheard, create your own lane. Again, what I just say, Kim. People are used to being feeling like they what? The V word. Victims. Hag. Victims. I love it.
Love you
Because
too.
that's what it is. I'm unheard.
Right.
Nobody listens to me. People don't pay me any attention. I feel like I don't have any value. That's your feeling.
Mhm.
No one on earth has the ability to assign value to you.
Come on.
No one could put a price on that head but you. So if you're feeling that way, you've allowed somebody's, what Kim was talking about earlier, somebody else's opinions about you to make you feel some kind of way about yourself. And that's making you not be your full and most authentic, joyful,
Mhm.
beautiful. Even if you're just, I have friends that they are so monotone and you would not know joy from sadness with them. You would not know the difference. But that's them, and it's the beauty of who they are. And I can pick it up. They're my friends. I know when it is. And they don't care who people who can't read it right. You don't know that
Mm.
that person's happy right now. And they don't become a victim if they're sad and people don't notice because they know how they are. They're like, I know who I am. People sometimes can't read that I'm not feeling great and I'm kind of depressed right now. And that's okay. But you have to be able to authentically be able to own who you are. And when you're feeling unheard, open your mouth. When you're feeling unseen, take up space. And when you're feeling undervalued, put a price on it. Yourself. Come on,
Absolutely love
Kim.
that. Absolutely love that, because you just took the words out of my mouth. Just like you said, if you feel unheard, have you been using your voice?
Throat
Are
chakra.
you a person, if you're a person who never says anything, oh, it's all right, I'm just gonna go ahead. I ain't gonna say nothing because I don't want to rock the boat. You can't feel unheard if you've never spoken.
I mean, you had to stay
If
on
you
the
don't,
edge
if
of
you
that
haven't,
bitch and rock it.
right. It was like if you haven't used your word, if you haven't told somebody how you feel, you can't say that you've been unheard if you haven't spoken. You can't say you can't say you've been unseen if you're not carrying yourself in a certain way. Are you the person that's always looking like there's something on the ground, so your head is always down? Are you never looking up? Okay. How do you what is your appearance? When you go out in these streets, are you going out in these streets where you command attention because of the way you carry yourself? Because you have a certain gait. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. When I walk down the street, people know I can be a mile away. People like, I knew that was you, Kim, because you just walk, your shoulders be squared, you be looking straight ahead. That's what I do. Okay, when I come in the room, it's just like, oh, who is she? Yes, let me tell you who I am. I'm Kim Morton Raymond. That's who I am. Okay, and then I'm going to tell you all the things that I do, but that doesn't define who I am. What are we doing? Just like G said, that yes, sir. Closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Let's go.
If you are not speaking up for yourself, if you're not carrying yourself in a way that commands attention, and we all know somebody who comes in the room, you just like, there was just something about that person. They just had an aura. There was just something about them. There was a confidence about them.
Yes.
That's why they're seen, because they walk with this confidence, and that comes from within.
Yes.
And then if you're feeling undervalued, how do you value yourself?
Yes.
People are going to feed you, or they're going to treat you the way you show them how to treat you. If you're constantly being that doormat who's constantly being taken advantage of, people are going to continue to do that.
Yes.
Just like Sheronda said, put a value on yourself. That's where words like no come in, where we say, okay, because, people don't value your time or the space that you're offering to them. You're giving that to them. You're giving them that. You're the one who is saying, I'm unheard, I'm unseen, and I'm undervalued. Because you've allowed what somebody has said to you to penetrate and make you feel that way. And so now it's going to be a matter of, okay, what do I need to do? What are some affirmations that I can give myself? What are some things that I can do to realign my chakras so that I can be heard, so that I can be seen and valued? Those are the things we have to do. And sometimes we can't do it in and of our own ability. We have to be able to acknowledge it so that we can ask for the help that we need.
Period.
Yeah.
I love it. I love this conversation. And this is one me and you definitely could pour into some people with, because me and you, there was never, anytime we did anything together, we went to book signings, we went to speaking engagements, they knew we were in the room. That's just the beginning and the end of that story. And I thank God for that particular power to be able to walk around with. Even when I'm feeling insecure, I know how to hold my head up. Even there's times where I'm not quite certain, but let me tell you who ain't gonna know. You.
Okay.
You're not gonna know. But yes, valuing yourself has got to be of the utmost importance. And if you ain't got no other affirmation, I am enough.
That's it. I am enough. Whew. Period. Okay. Moving on. Okay. You know that you are not living your most authentic life if you feel alone. Okay. You can't be lonely if you like the person you are alone with. I love that one. That's by Wayne Dyer. May he rest in peace.
Love him. Miss him.
I mean, yes. You can't be lonely if you like the person you are alone with. And if we can't get comfortable with ourselves, if we can't, enjoy our own body, our own mind, things about us, then how can we expect others to? And then we're talking about feeling alone. Are we alienating ourselves from people? Or are we putting ourselves in areas or in positions or places where we can be around like-minded people? Okay. Sometimes when we step back, we feel alone because where are you going and what are you doing that causes you to feel alone? But more importantly, are you liking yourself enough? Because sometimes if you don't have that confidence in yourself, you're not going to step outside.
Come on.
You're going to be that recluse. You're going to be that person who, when they said everybody got to stay inside, you were like, yes, I was already there. So I don't need to worry about it. You won't be like some of us who felt like caged, like, oh my gosh, I got to get outside. I need to be around people. But it taught us all to be comfortable with ourselves.
Yes.
I traveled for work for many, many years and had to travel by myself. We have to travel in pairs now for safety. But when I first started my job, I traveled a lot by myself. I had to learn to eat by myself. I had to, I was sitting there like, I'm probably looking like the loneliest person. They probably going to be like, oh, she ain't got no man. I thought, no, I was at work. So now in the verb, I was at work working. And so, yeah. And I had to learn how to get comfortable with being by myself. But I had to also make sure I had my head on swivel so that I was safe, But it is you begin to start thinking about, okay, what are some things that I like to do? What are some things that I enjoy doing? So that way I don't have to feel that sense of loneliness. And then if you are a spiritual person, you are never alone, because who is with you? Source, God, Allah, whatever you choose to call him. You are never by yourself.
Yes.
You're never alone, because the Holy Spirit indwells within you. So you are never alone.
Yes.
Come on, Sheronda.
I have a question. How can one think that they're being authentic to themselves if they don't like being by themselves?
Type it in.
I need some clarity on that. How can you think you are being true to you if your thoughts and feelings torment you? There's something very inauthentic about that. Reason being, even if your thoughts and your feelings don't feel good, they're yours. And there's something for you. Those are the things that you get to love on. Those are the things you get to massage and talk to and embrace and shift. Anything that's going on inside of us that doesn't feel good can be molded, because again, I made lots of money during COVID because everybody was closed in the house and they were so sick of being by themselves, they ran to the internet. So I could hold virtual classes and things like that. And I had people from all over the world showing up for classes.
Right.
Because everybody was on lockdown. Right. But the moment the doors opened, it was a crack. I remember the door just cracked. They just said, you go to Walmart. That's all. They's like, go back home now. People swarmed Walmart. People swarmed wherever they could, because they were tormented with themselves.
Right.
If you are enough, let me tell you, you're not just enough. You're more than enough.
Right.
You're more than enough for yourself, for the people who love you. You are plenty. And if you remind yourself of how beautiful and amazing you are, even when you have that crazy thought of stabbing somebody, wait, that was mine. That didn't belong to you. I just gave you one of mine. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm just playing. Or am I? But anyway, when you start having no crazy behind thoughts, you don't hate yourself for it. You work yourself through it.
Yes.
You give yourself a little bit of grace and be like, okay, I know that's not right. That's not how I should be feeling right now. Let me take some deep breaths. Let me write this down in my journal. Let me release it to spirit. Let me pray. Let me get down on my knee. Whatever. Let me get prostrate on the floor if I need to. Whatever it is I need to do. I still have the ability to do it alone and still be able to love the space I am with me. Now, that's not just saying just always be by yourself. We're not saying that by far. Right. But if you're tormented by it, you're not being the most authentic self. You're just not living you. You can't go nowhere else. You see what I'm saying? You can't get out of this body until you get out this body.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But you ain't leaving this body. This is the one you got. This is the mind you have. These are the emotions that you have. These are the fingers and that long second toe that I talked about last week. Anyway, them feet, all them things are yours. You might as well love it.
Right.
And heal it.
That's right. That's right. I love that. I love that. Just like you said, you are not alone. You are not alone. Oh, and if you are alone, be comfortable with being alone. That's why it's good to take yourself on dates and do things like that. Do some things just by yourself.
Even if you're in a relationship, do it.
Right. Find those things. Some people it's the retail therapy. Some people it's the, I want to go and see a movie. we always, oh, I don't want to go by myself because I don't care. It's because of what other people think. So we're going to stop living life because of what we think people are going to say about us
They're
because
gonna
we're
say
by
it anyway.
ourselves. They're going to say it anyway. So yes, start to get comfortable with yourself. Take yourself out on dates. Do things by yourself and get comfortable with being by yourself. But also know that, embrace the times that you spend with other people. So that you're not alienating yourself. You don't want to be that person who's always sitting in the corner and you're talking about, I'm in a room full of people, but I feel like I'm by myself.
Hmm.
Start asking yourself what causes you to feel that way. Are you uncomfortable? What is making you uncomfortable, or what's
Yes.
making you feel that way? We have to start addressing the things that are going on in our minds and in our heart and in our spirit, and start addressing those things, acknowledging those things, because
Yeah.
healing starts with acknowledgement, saying that there's something that's going on and what can I do to remedy it, besides just saying, well, that's just who I am, that's just how
Yeah.
I am, that's just how it has to be. It doesn't have to be that way. We have a choice. Okay, moving on. Listen.
Another sign that we aren't living our most authentic life. When your smile is what you use to hide your pain. The worst kind of pain is when you're smiling just to stop the tears from falling. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this one, just
Mm,
because of transmutation. There's a thin line with this one,
yes.
because when it comes to transmutation, the idea is to create a false sense of something sometimes where something doesn't really exist. So I'm not feeling happy, right? Say I'm sad. So now I'm going to shift my energy into a time that I was happy so that I could feel the feeling of happiness,
Mm-hmm.
so that I could so I can start feeling happy. And sometimes that does require putting on a smile when you don't always want to, but you
Mm-hmm.
have to be mindful if you're faking it
Right.
or intentionally doing it. That's where the fine line comes in. I want to point that out because that's something I do teach about: transmuting feelings and transmuting energy, from shifting it from one space into what you need at that particular moment, in
Mm-hmm.
order to make yourself grow, in order to manifest, in order to anything like that. I like to use transmutation, but a lot of people do grin and bear it. Grin and
Yeah.
bear it. I'm just going to grin and bear it. And guess what? Christianity teaches that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they meant for it to be negative.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the intention. I think it was all the source of it all was the idea of transmuting. I don't think it's just. I don't think people exercise it right. That's what I'm looking for.
Right.
People don't exercise it in a way of, don't be around people and you with your family and friends, and then everybody leaves, and then you're a big bucket of mess by
Right.
yourself all over again,
Right.
being alone, and now you're falling apart, or you're taking it out on your kids, and everybody
Right.
looking at you, everybody who live with you looking at you every time you go out the house, like, this heifer was just screaming at us, and now she
Right.
good at everybody, and y'all showing
Right.
up at church looking all pretty, but then when you get back to the house, you're a hellraiser, or you're
Yeah.
miserable, or you're sad, or you're locked up in a room. So I think there is opportunities where we can tap into, like,
Yeah.
because grief is my most recent experience.
Mm-hmm.
People like, remember your memories. Don't forget about the good
Right.
times you had. When you're
Right.
going through something, you don't know how many times I want to say F you. I probably did a couple times on Facebook to people. Remember the good times you had with him. Is it going to bring them back? That's my first, that was my
Right.
first thought every single time.
Right. Right.
But remembering the good times does help transmute and
Yeah.
makes you smile in order to get past that pain in a moment.
Right.
So I ride the thin line of this one, but don't
Yeah.
allow yourself just to be walking around grinning and you broken.
Right. Well, I think when I think about that, when I think about your smile hides your pain, it's
Mm-hmm.
those who don't acknowledge the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you said, it's those who are just smiling and never doing anything to resolve the pain. When
Yeah.
it says you're smiling just to keep the tears from falling because you're not allowing your emotions to flow.
Yes. Yes.
Just like you said, grief. Grief for us is something that we both experienced, and so yes, there will be times when the tears are going to roll. I need to let them roll. Then
Yes.
I can go back. For some, I understand. Yes, you want the smile because everybody does not need to know your situation because everybody is not praying for you. There are some
Mm-hmm.
who are praying against you. And so sometimes you may have to just smile, good morning,
Mm-hmm.
just to get through that. But know that at the end of the day, you're acknowledging that pain that's
Yeah.
going on behind that smile. At some
Yeah.
point, you're addressing it. You're not just using it as a band-aid. You're not
Yeah.
just using it as a mask for not resolving that emotion or whatever it is that's causing that pain.
Right.
We think about people who are comedians, all these people who have committed suicide, who were smiling. You were just like, oh my goodness, every time I saw them, they were smiling. They were smiling and giving people the idea that they were okay. And I don't want to say, because that's not true for every person
Yeah.
that commits suicide, but we were talking about those who comedians, or you think of people who you always thought, oh my goodness, that person always had a smile on their face, but they were never addressing the pain. When that
Yes.
smile becomes a mask, that is when it is a problem.
Yes.
You're just smiling just to say, hey, I'm okay, because you're just not ready to talk about it. Just know that at some point down the line, you're going to address it. It should not be a mask. It should not be
Yes.
something that you just and you're never ever resolving those issues. That's when it's the
Exactly.
problem. That's when you're not living your authentic life, when you're not acknowledging those things that are going on around you. Again, it's all about acknowledgement.
Yes.
What are we doing to get to this point, and how are we going to get past it? You know?
And I'm going to go to the extreme. And I was just talking about this probably last night about people who so won't get in touch with their feelings. They
Mm,
split, their personalities split.
mhm.
That's where you see a lot of people who have split personalities because they're going through so much trauma, but they've never been given the space to even know that what they were going through was bad. Did you ever see Sybil?
Yes.
Remember Sybil?
My dad had the book.
Oh my
Yes.
God. Yeah, they had the book and we had to read the book and watch the movie when I was at school. And she split, her mother was so abusive.
Mm-hmm.
But again, when it's your mom, when do you have a time to have any reprieve or to even
Right.
think that you can really express yourself in the midst of such craziness? Her mother was abusing the mess out of her.
She was.
So instead of being able to cry and be sad and talk to somebody about it, to release that, she's found personalities to release it into. I
I,
forget how many personalities
I think
Sybil.
she had 16. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I'm about to say
Something
somebody
like
look it up. How many personalities Sybil
that.
eventually, and she split into so many personalities simply because of trauma. And so that's kind of where this is going. Is just making sure that you allow yourself space to feel.
Yes. That's
You may
important.
have to smile sometimes, and when you're going through the hardest times, like Kim says, everybody don't need to know you how broken you feeling all the
Right.
time.
Right.
Right, Veronica, hot,
Right.
hot mess.
It's a lot.
I mean, her
It
person.
is.
I think she had at least one or two dudes. Is her personalities too.
That was a book.
It
I don't
was.
even know if you find it nowadays. Who knows? You might have
Yeah, a
I
lot
may
of
have to
people
open
do
that.
though, but
Yeah.
it's just being mindful to allow yourself to feel and be okay.
Yeah.
And that's why so many people need to get therapy. So many more people need to be in therapy so that they can fully let it out.
Yeah. And
Just let
people are
it.
being told, stop crying, don't do this. So they've been told to suppress.
Yep.
And
Yep.
when you suppress, then you wind up reacting and not responding. And we
Yeah,
know
that
that
is a
that's
lot.
not where we want to be. It's
Yeah,
not where we want to be. But again, it's a process.
it's a
All
process.
these things are a process.
Hmm.
They're all things that are going to take time, because like I said, healing takes time. When you cut yourself and you have a wound, it doesn't heal instantly. It takes time for it to heal.
Hmm.
Sometimes there are things that we have to put on it to assist in that healing.
Yes.
So we have to think about that when we're talking about things that are going on in our lives, situations that are coming up, things that are causing us pain. What are some things that we can do to remedy it? And sometimes it's not something that we can do by ourselves. Again, that's where your toolbox comes in, and you start saying, okay, what are the tools that I need? Or is it a person? Is it a thing? What is it that I need to help me to be able to get through this situation? It's not always easy, but it's possible. Okay. All right. The next one.
There we go.
You try to make your life socially acceptable. How do we know that we are not living an authentic life? When we've tried to make our life socially acceptable. And it says, never, I repeat, never change your preferences or personality to receive acceptance or approval from anyone.
Mm.
too busy trying to please everybody. And we have so many people that put up airs and put on facades. You ever see those social media ones where the people are acting like they on a plane, and then when they pan back, they got a toilet a toilet a seat, and they're just pretending. We put on airs to impress people, and we try so hard to do that eventually you're not going to be able to keep up with that. You can only keep up the facade for so long before it eventually falls down, before somebody eventually walks behind it and goes, oh, this was just something in front of you. This wasn't really who you were. Especially when you're talking about being in relationships with people, because the closer they get to you, the more they're going to get to know you. And then all of a sudden it's going to be like, wait a minute, this person or this thing is not what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Okay. We see all kinds of things that are made up pretty. And now, as you know, think about makeup. So you got your eyelashes, your hair, your this, your that. You have so many things on you that if you go take all that stuff off, people are like, they don't even know. You don't even recognize yourself. We do so many things just so that people can say, oh, wow, you look good. But what happens at the end of the day? Oh, you know, you have to be accepting of yourself.
Yes.
Before you start talking about trying to do, like I said, trying to people please. We try so hard to please and be everything to everybody, but at the end of the day, that becomes exhausting. You're only going to be able to do it for a little while. You're only going to be able to put on airs for a minute before you're just like, okay, I just you're going to get tired.
Yes.
Either that or you're going to get old and you're going to forget what you said.
Yes.
Or you're going to forget what you do, or you forget what you did, or it doesn't work for you anymore, and then what?
Right.
You're trying to find the next sparkly, shiny thing to do. Out of exercise, and my behind ain't gonna get big. Now I'm gonna go and get a Brazilian butt lift. And I'm gonna go and do this and that. We start going to the extremes. You see that with people who do all of those. What is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Where you get your face done, or cosmetic surgery. That's the word I'm looking for. Cosmetic surgery. You do all of these things, and you keep on doing it, and then people just keep doing more and more till you no longer are even any semblance of who you were. People don't even recognize who you were because you tried so hard to be acceptable to everybody else that you don't even recognize yourself. Your thoughts?
I don't even know how to respond to this because I'm socially awkward. So I know I'm never socially. I don't do nothing to be socially acceptable. I really don't. I don't fully. I didn't wear a bra the other day. I went out. I went in public with no bra on. That's what I mean. This is what I mean. I went out in public and I was like,
you got nothing on.
Because I'm just like, because I was kind of born that way. You know, my mother, I'm an AK too, but she was AK before me. And there's a lot of social acceptable things that we're supposed to do. BWS.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that we should and shouldn't do, and not as much as it used to be. You have the debutante balls and things like that. They teach you how you're supposed to hold your spoon, how you're supposed to sit with your feet crossed at your ankles, and little things like that. And as women, you're taught a whole bunch of things you should and shouldn't do. And I get whoopings for all of it, because it wasn't just because I was just flat out being rebellious. It just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
because I didn't feel comfortable. If I don't feel comfortable with certain things, then I won't do them. So I tend to be a little socially awkward. I've got piercings galore on my face, just on my face. I ain't gonna tell you what the rest of them are.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, but just like you said,
let me finish, Kim Martin. But those things are the things that make me me.
Yes.
Those are the things that make me authentically me, actually. Those are the things that make it easier for me to feel good about myself, to be able to have tattoos, and to be able to wear my piercings, and to be able to let my titties swing. Whatever it is in that particular moment. And it's not going to be like that everywhere. If I'm going to a ball, I'm going to have a bra on. Because I need them things sitting right. I need y'all to see them right there, right on top. I want it to look a certain way when I'm. It don't have nothing to do with what y'all think about it. I just like looking at them bounce when I'm walking, dancing on the floor. Those type of things that make me feel good about me
Yes.
or things I move in. And there are moments where sometimes I'm like, I know this is about to offend somebody, and you don't always want to be offensive. I don't always want to be offensive, but then sometimes I just don't care. I just don't care.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But that's it. When you talk about social acceptance, it's what is the definition of socially acceptable? That becomes the bigger question. What is socially acceptable? Is it just what everyone collectively agrees is socially acceptable?
Mhm.
Or who made the rules? And why do they stick? And then when somebody does something outside of that, then sometimes they become a phenomenon
Yeah.
because they've done something outside of the ordinary. And people started to take a liking to it and just like, oh wow, I didn't even realize it. So it's just what are we defining as socially acceptable, and is it in alignment with our values and our beliefs, and
Yes.
and our, and if it isn't, then how socially acceptable is it? These are the kinds of questions. They're not easy questions to answer, but there are so many things that we do just because we feel that we or we should do it. We should just be doing it. This is something that we should be doing because everybody says so.
How many slides we got left, Kim?
We got two.
Okay, okay,
We good. We good. We moving on.
okay.
Go for it. The next one is up.
Oh, it's three actually. Okay. Yeah, I was just opening the thing. Okay. Signs we aren't living our authentic lives. You're obsessed with pleasing others. Lord, I'm still on this journey here. You heard? I'm still on this journey. This is a healing journey for a lifetime for me. Remember that pleasing other people when you don't want to is disrespectful towards your own life. Now, I won't say I do it when I don't want to. That's but I don't think I've learned how to gauge when I shouldn't versus I want to. There's a lot of times because usually when you're a people pleaser, you're doing it because you want to please people. You want them to be happy. You want them to feel good. So if I say this way, they'll be happy. Or if I go do this thing, they'll be happy. But is it making me happy? And is it obsessed? Look at that big old word it used too. Ooh, I don't think I'm obsessed. I'll give myself a little bit of grace there in this space. But I know that I have lost out on time, money, sleep, all kind of stuff, just for the sake of making somebody else feel good. Just because I like when people feel good. I like when I feel good. And even seeing somebody else feel good makes me feel good. So sometimes I just want to do it. I only like that as parents. He said, yeah, girl.
Mhm. Yes.
We do it with our children. Jason. We do it with our children. Sometimes you don't want to go drive them to that little dance.
Yep.
I don't want to. But you want them happy and you want them to have fun. And I don't think there's anything wrong with those particular things. But when it becomes excessive, where
Mhm.
you legit, like I said, losing sleep, losing money, losing time that you could be developing your business, polishing your toenails, the second long one. I'm gonna let that toe go one day.
She gonna keep steering wheel on that one
Now,
though.
don't give
Okay.
it a minute. Me at Walmart. Yep, this morning getting a Christmas shirt. Yep, that was me
Mhm.
this morning.
Mm.
It was ugly sweater day at her daughter's
Oh, okay.
school. Hmm.
Okay.
And we will sacrifice a lot of ourselves in order to see other people happy. And I think that's okay to the degree of you're not losing yourself. Like it
Right.
says, being disrespectful towards your own life. And I know I've been disrespectful towards
Mm. And that's the thing. It's like you said. Yeah. When I think about you're obsessed with pleasing others, I mean, you know, we all know my husband is the quintessential Captain Save-A-Ho. I don't know any other way to say it.
mine.
I love you, baby. But yes,
Yes.
Captain Save-A-Ho. And sometimes it's just some people are obsessed with pleasing others because they have this need to be needed.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so they please others out of the because it makes them feel valued.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's what some people do. They're just pleasing others because they feel like they're needed, and if I save this person, or if I do this for this person, I'm saving them.
Yeah.
And those are your people who, when they're obsessed with pleasing others, become your quintessential enablers.
Ooh.
They become your enablers. They become that person who, and because you've got it in your mind that they cannot live without you.
Without you. Mm-hmm.
Or you're that person on a job. Did you think that if you leave that job, they're not going to be able to do it because, you're everything.
Yeah.
And you have to be so careful about that.
V,
Okay?
you know how to say no. You just don't know how to say no to the right people.
Yeah. Yeah. And you just feel, and you got people who just feel sick when they don't. If they're not pleased, they feel sick behind that. Oh my God, I couldn't help them. I couldn't do it. But again, this is more along those lines of if you don't want to do it.
If you don't,
it's that inability to say no.
You know what my problem too is, Kim?
What's that?
I assume that people are gonna balance me out. You see what I'm going with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I assume that if I give you this amount of my energy,
right?
It's time, money, all that is literal energy, whatever it is.
Yes, it is.
If you give me $500, I'm going to give you $500 worth of energy.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? In balance, because we're going to somehow find that balance. Barter system, whatever we're doing,
right?
Friendship, whatever it is, I want to try to find the energy to balance. It don't have to look exactly the same.
Right.
If I give you $500, you don't have $500 to give me, but you can give me a couple of rides somewhere. Just the balance.
Right.
And that's what I've learned about the pleasing of people. People don't always want to. They're not going to balance you.
No.
They're not going to balance you. No. They're just happy you did it.
And they done moved on to the next thing.
They done moved on to the next thing, man.
And then when you start asking them, they're like, "Well, and then all of a sudden they have boundaries." But they want you to be boundless.
They got their boundaries, right? They got their boundaries. But we're running clean.
Right.
Run straight up, down, and over and around yours.
Okay. Exactly. All right, move on. We can do one more. Let's do one more.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. And this one kind of goes along with the pronunciation. Tired of putting on fake personalities. That goes right back to what we were talking about. Having all these personalities, trying to be something that you're not, putting on all of these things, putting on all of this makeup, putting on all of these things just to be something that garners attention. You want the attention, and then but when it's time for fun, and then you wonder why you by yourself, or why you lonely, and why anybody want to be with me, because you've not given anybody the opportunity to see who you really are. Behind all of the makeup and the lashes and the hair and all of these things, who are you?
Yeah.
And more importantly, are you in love with that person?
Yeah.
It's like I said, we're putting on airs. And I mean, and that's a lot of time and money to be something that you're not.
Oof.
And people spend thousands of dollars doing that every single day, putting on all of these things to cover up who they really are.
The thing said, fake people always have an image to maintain to fit in. Genuine people just couldn't care less what other people think.
Bam.
It's harder for me to care about what people think. It is harder. And as a Gemini, people call us two-faced. And I know why. I get it. It's not because we're two-faced. It's not because I'm one way with you and one way behind your back in terms of like against you. But we tend to shapeshift. Absolutely. I could be different in different environments.
Right.
You're going to find me in a different environment. I'm not going to be the same. I'm not going to go cussing somewhere else. If I'm coming to speak in certain venues, I'm not going to be throwing all my cuss words out there. I might be a little more demure.
Right.
I'm going to have a little bit more tact about myself in certain arenas, while somewhere else I'm going to act plumb fool. And people think you're being fake. No, both of those, all those are real.
Right.
All of them are real for me.
Right.
But you have to know that about yourself. Again, that's about authenticity. I'm aware of that about myself. Nobody can call me out on that. Oh, you wasn't acting like that yesterday. You damn right. I was at the church. What you talking about?
Right.
If I could have, I would have. I'm trying to be respectful of these people over here, or whatever the situation is. But I think that goes more. This goes more into just flat out fake ass people. There are people who will smile in your face. Sing the song, Kim. Sing it.
They smile in your face all the time. I want to take your place to backstabbers. What? Backstabbers. Yes.
Dude,
Sorry.
I know she could bust out a song for me.
Yes, I can.
Yes, but the flat out just people who they just ain't right.
Right.
The energy is off, and it's just not a good thing. And if you have to walk around like that all the time, somebody's gonna eventually catch you in it. They're gonna catch you in the fakeness,
That's it. Or they're gonna fall in love with the fakeness.
or they're gonna fall.
They're gonna fall, or they're gonna be, or they're gonna befriend the fakeness.
Oof.
Then you're gonna wonder why nobody wants to be around you, or why things begin to fall apart because they never again got to know the authentic you.
You
Time and energy wasted for no
for
reason.
no reason, all because you just
No
wouldn't be
reason.
yourself.
That's it.
All because
That's
you
it.
just wouldn't be yourself.
That's
I
it.
remember when I first heard about women talking about they don't want to wake up next to their man with bad breath and their hair down, so they jump up before they get out of bed.
Yes.
Nigga, you better smell this funky breath. Where do you think it came from? Where do you think it came from? What we did last night. What we did.
Okay. Shut up. Shut up.
You could tell me my breath stink. I love you.
True story. True story. True story. All right, so let wrap it up. Let's wrap it up because there will be a part deux. There will be a part deux. So wrap this up for us. Wrap up this evening show for us.
Well, did you have any few words for us before we move on to the next Monday? This is fun.
Well, like I said, the holidays are coming up, so we'll let y'all know where we're gonna be. Like I said, I'm gonna be in New York, so we'll see if there'll be a show next week. I don't know. The holidays, we'll see. Okay, I might be with my people. I just don't know. That's just but we're keeping it real.
We're keeping it real. Play it by ear.
Yes, there will be a part two. What I want you to do is make sure that y'all like, follow, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channels. It's been running along the bottom of the page the entire show. We always say like, follow, and subscribe and share. Please make sure that you do so. And also comment. Let us know how you're enjoying the show. Let us know what topics you want to talk about. Give us some comments on some of the things that we've talked about in the past already. And we're happy to readdress them. So make sure y'all come on and support us, support the channel, support the show, because this is about getting to that place of authenticity for us. All right, my friend.
Yes, we always thank you. As always, thank each and every one of you for showing up every week right here. Same bat time, same bat channel. We thank you. We love you. Like Kim said, share, like, subscribe, and enjoy your holidays. Be safe, be loving, and most importantly, be you.
Be you.
Peace and love.
Peace.